see. There we go. All right. So welcome. We're going to go and our very first class is just I have my oils now what? And we're going to go through, it's kind of an 8-course, um, 8-class course. We've kind of extended it to 10 as they add more products and more things come up that people have questions about. So what we're doing for our team is offering a free diffuser if you'll come and attend 8 out of the 10 classes. You're welcome to come to all 10. I'll throw in some extra oils if you do. And it's just a good way to help you know what to do with your oils. And then we can leave a little time at the end for a question and answer if you would like. And we'll just jump in and get started. Oh, I'm thinking I wanted a reference book too. I don't know if you have one, Anita, maybe grab one and you can show them in a minute. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing my screen and we will get going. Okay, so I have my oils now what? I'll just put this over here. All right, so here you go. So we're starting off with doTERRA. I know a lot of you guys have been using oils for a long time. If you have any questions, please go ahead and throw them in the chat and I will keep an eye on that. And then, yeah, if you'll write your name in there too to get credit for coming, that would be awesome. And all right, so one of the most important things with oils is just the education that comes along with them. I actually had oils in my family where my mom had given me them and I'd used them from different companies well before doTERRA was even a company. And to be honest, I didn't know what to do with them. I just remember when I felt sick, she would say things like, just put some whatever on your throat. And I'd be like, okay. And I might like put a drop on my throat. And then I just didn't use them that much because they were foreign and I didn't know what to do with them. So speak of my Jack Russell Terrier, she's going to join us. So one of the most important things with your oils is just a little bit of what to use it for and how, and then just not being afraid of using your oils. So let's start with, okay, we talked about our free diffuser if you want to come and join us. Now, let me just tell you up front that at the end, I have another form for the diffuser. So when you've finished, I will email that out and make sure you fill that out because that's what I need in order to send them out because it has your address and things. And that's where you can check off that you went to the classes. If by chance you miss a class, let me know. I'm going to try to record them so you can catch them later. So starting with your oils, the other thing too is if you enrolled through our link to enroll, then I will add you onto an email list so that you'll just get a reminder an hour or so before class starts. And then I will attach a worksheet that has most of the slides that I use on it so that you can print them out ahead of time and have them for notes if you'd like. Okay, go on, honey. Go on, go get Noah. So starting with your oils, most of us are looking for something natural, some kind of solution. So if you have a moment and if you don't mind, you can write down for yourself just so you remember what we go over, maybe the 3 reasons that you started with doTERRA. And while you do that, I will just take a moment to tell you that I got going with doTERRA because of my energy levels. I had just had my 3rd baby and I was exhausted and tired all the live long day. I didn't understand how anybody could go to this grocery store with 3 children and just all of a sudden thought, these people seem so normal, but they have 3 kids and they're functioning. And I just was blown away at how people moved on with life after they had children. So now all 3 of mine were very young and I look back and think obviously I was very tired, but that was my number 1 reason for starting with doTERRA. And then once I got my energy down, the next thing I was looking for was natural solutions for my kids because I didn't want to be taking them to the doctor. I wanted them to sleep through the night. And I felt very strongly about trying to avoid medicines at all costs if I could, just because I wanted their immune systems to be strong. So if you have a second, you can write that down. We have reference books. If you haven't gotten one yet, I meant to grab one and bring it, but I always forget 1 or 2 things. So there are tons of reference books as well as the internet. Many of them are called Modern Essentials books. Okay, the Essential Life book. I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share so that you can see. Oh, whoops. So that you can see Anita's book really quick. So where are you, Anita? So here she's got this Essential Life book. So there's all kinds of reference books where you can look up anything. And the coolest part about it is there's another one, Modern Essentials. The coolest part about it is it has tons and tons of studies. Like you can go on PubMed and look up a lot of these studies. There's another one, Advanced Oil Magic, and then just the internet too. There's online apps. So any more? Just got a few more. Okay. Essential Emotions. So there's tons of them. Now, my husband's a PA, and so he's very medically minded. I used to tell him about different studies that I'd seen and stuff, and he would kind of roll his eyes and ask where they were. And I'd say, I don't know. They're wherever they keep the studies. But he finally did get on one day onto PubMed and started pulling studies. And the reality is some are great, some are less great, but there are really amazing studies that are double blind, placebo tested. If you can spend time looking at them, he did pull a bunch of them out. But so those books, a lot of them quote studies, which is really helpful so that you can know what's actually been used in the past and what works well. So back to that. So feel free to, you can always go look up the reasons you purchased it, look up your individual ailments in order to see, what works well for that and pull those oils out and try them. So going to our next slide. In review, there are lots of reasons why people join them. These are some of the common ones. So if you have your paper printed out and you want to highlight them or take notes on the ones you're looking at, we will go more in depth on each of these in the future. Let me tell my son to come get my dog out of here really quick so she stops barking. Hold on. Okay. Hey, Sammy, will you close my door? Can you close my door? I'm teaching a class live right now, please. Okay. All right. So we have different, so there's foundations, and that's just your baseline for health every day, things that you might use on a regular basis. Exercise and weight management is another thing that people look to doTERRA for, as they have a lot of products that are targeted to just, working with your muscles and soreness and slimming down, fixing your metabolism, helping with recovery, things like that. Rest and manage stress. Also, just for daily lives, we know that there's our go time and there's our downtime. And if you can't take advantage of that sleep time and downtime, you're not going to have the energy you need in the day. So we'll go through that. And then reducing our toxic load. And this is something that we've been focusing on a lot this year. As I've been looking around at all of the things we're doing to build our immunity, what we use in our house can also be an obstacle in your health. And so as I've looked around, we've seen a lot of people share stories about how things they were doing at home, products they were using that had a lot of toxins in them and they didn't know were affecting their health negatively. And when they pulled those out, their health took a step up and they felt a lot better. So these are a lot of the biggest main places that people spend their time. And we will go into great detail on all of these in the weeks to come. So we'll kind of do a class on each and then a few more. So the first thing about it is, it says have fun. So diffusing something new every day, different combinations. I'm going to take a minute and go ahead and show you. Hold on one second. Show you how I use diffusers and stuff. So doTERRA sells their own diffusers. And to be honest, I've bought some other places. You want to make sure they have a high BPA plastic type rating. And that way they won't disintegrate on you. And there's just a couple little tips that are really important. So first of all, in the morning, I try to go fill up my diffusers just to remember to diffuse each day. But each diffuser should have some kind of a little fill line. So this, if there's a little red dot, that will serve as a fill line for some. Let me see what this one looks like. But they'll have a line that tells you where to fill them at. So this one has a little red dot too. So my first tip is when you're filling up a diffuser, usually if you fill it all the way to the fill line, it sometimes will have a problem and it won't diffuse. And I don't know why that is, because if it's overfilled at all, the water just doesn't get going. So if you ever have a diffuser that's not working and it's not putting out some kind of a mist, usually it's because it's overfilled for some reason. And if you take a little water out, that will help fix it. So a lot of these have different timers on them, different lights, but you're going to put your water in, fill it up to that fill line or lower. And then I do 2 to 3 or 4 drops of oil in there, depending on how strong I want it, and plug it in and turn it on. Some of my favorite blends are the citrus blends. I love wild orange and citrus bliss mixed with other things. So with peppermint or with Cassia is one for the fall that's really good, but you can mix any of the, there's lime, orange, lemon, grapefruit, bergamot. There's a ton of different kinds of citrus oils that are really good and uplifting, and they'll clean the air. When my kids don't feel good, I will do On Guard and Breathe, and we will talk about more of these as they come up again. But at nighttime, I'll do relaxing oils like Balance or Serenity, and just putting a couple drops and running those diffusers. There's something about getting it in the air where you might not notice it, but they've done tons of research to show that it lifts people's mood. It helps people's immunity be higher, kind of keeps your air clean, makes things calm, stuff like that. And so I do believe that it really makes a big difference if you're diffusing. You'll notice yourself that you might not notice the smell after a little while, but if people ever come over, they'll always be like, oh, wow, it smells like oils in here. So I do switch up what I diffuse so that I can smell it, 'cause if you do the same thing over and over again, it kind of blends in with the surroundings. But if you switch it up, you'll be able to smell it. And just depending on what I'm working on, whether it's starting my day, ending my day, or immunity or being healthier. They also just launched this humidifier, and this we've used a ton. It's quite large. It's got a big chamber in it. So compared to the other diffuser, this is way bigger. I think this is called the Dawn humidifier. I might be giving you the wrong name, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. What I've learned with this is you can put oils in the top right here, or you can put it in here, but you won't smell as much because it gets pulled down into the bottom and back out the top. So if you put your oils in this main chamber here, then you'll smell them come out, and it's got all these great settings. But we live in Southern Utah. It's super dry down here. And so we've been using this, and it's just awesome. And it just does good things for putting the oils in the air and for humidifying your air around you. So yeah, it's called the Dawn. Thanks, Maury. So that's another option for just getting them in the air. So let me go back to sharing my screen. All right, so having fun, trying new oils. Every day you could try new oils. You'll find that some of them are really, if they're really thick, heavy oils, then they smell very different when they're diffused. So if you do thick, heavy oils to try them, maybe do a smaller amount just to make sure you like the smell. And then you'll notice on all the little bottles that some have a supplement box on it. If it doesn't have a supplement box on it, that means that it's not recommended for internal use. They should all be safe enough that you can take them internally, but some are actually made to be taken internally, and those have a supplement box. And if they do not, then they're meant for diffusing or for putting on topically. So the other thing that we recommend is drinking it in your water. Whenever you use citrus oils in your water, first of all, it tastes really nice and is uplifting, but citrus oils, especially the oils, come from the rind and not actually the juice of the oil. And so it's very alkaline. It has a really important compound called limonene in it. That's just super good for your body with being healthy and with keeping an alkaline baseline when it comes to being like acidic. Alkaline is where less things are, where you're in danger of less sicknesses. So it's kind of just a healthier place to be. So trying different oils do rise to the top. So lots of times I'll use a glass straw or a metal straw because I don't want to necessarily drink them on my lips, but I really love the taste of them in there. If you have it in a bottle, you'll want to use a glass bottle or a metal bottle, because when you put it in plastics, it can kind of leach the toxins out of the plastic. So when we talk about clearing our toxins out of our home and our bodies, water bottles are one way where if you can use a glass or plastic one, the oils won't be pulling things out. I still do drink out of disposable water bottles when I'm running, but I don't usually put oils in them because I do worry about it just leaching it out. They're very strong and they can pull toxins out. Another thing that's good to mention is that whenever you start with using oils, it could trigger some kind of a cleansing effect. So every now and then people will react with a skin rash or something, and especially with supplements and things. And sometimes that's actually a really good sign that it's helping to pull things out of your body. So what you can do then is you can slow down on whatever you're doing, either dilute it more or just half the dose that you're using or taking, but probably don't stop because it's a good process to be pulling those toxins out just to keep your body in a healthier state. When you're using oils on yourself topically, so the 3 ways to use them is to put them in the air, which we talked about with the diffusers. You can also use a spray bottle. doTERRA has really cool spray bottles. I'll show you those in a minute. Or you can take them internally by putting them in your water or putting them in a capsule. Some already come in capsules. And then the third way is to put them on topically. Now, when you put them on topically, there are some oils that are very intense and you'll feel it on your skin. And if that ever happens, you can add fractionated coconut oil to it. So let me take a quick break from this one. So fractionated coconut oil, doTERRA sells some. Whenever you're using oils, if it's too intense, then just keep in mind that water and oils don't mix. They separate and push apart from each other. And so if it's bothering you, you don't want to put water on it because that will kind of drive it further in to wherever it's bothering you. You want to get out some kind of an oil. In the very beginning, I didn't have their fractionated coconut oil because I didn't know if it really mattered. And I remember putting oregano on my son because he was sick and it started flaring up. He started crying. I had no idea the oregano was a super hot oil. So if you use it topically, you're going to want to dilute it with something else. And that's just adding more oil so that the absorption of the essential oil is slowed down. So it still has the same benefits. It just takes a little bit longer and thus isn't quite as intense all at once. So what I did is I ran to the kitchen and I grabbed some olive oil because that's what I had handy. And I put it all over his back and it instantly calmed down and he was fine. He's young enough that he doesn't remember it, luckily, so that's nice. But this coconut oil that they sell is fractionated, which means that it's in a state where it's always in a liquid. It doesn't get into a solid. Something about the way they pull apart the molecules. And the nice thing about this is that it's odorless and it absorbs really well into your skin. So I don't know if you've ever gotten olive oil or coconut oil on your skin, regular cooking. It's hard to get it off. You're scrubbing your hands and it just feels kind of greasy. So the nice thing about the fractionated coconut oil is it absorbs very well. A good thing to note is that it does leave marks on cloth. So if you spill this on your clothes, it will leave a little mark. But on your skin, it's really great to just dilute it in, massage it in, and then it doesn't get on anything. But their coconut oil is awesome. And you can buy little pumps also because the bottles do get a little bit sticky and oily, but you know, it's not that big of a mess. But you can go ahead and stick a pump in it and then you can pump it out and use it. Now, if I'm making a blend by combining oils together, so if you look something up like sleep and you find that things that are good for sleep are vetiver and serenity or lavender, then you can go ahead and get your own empty vial and fill it up with your own oils. So I recommend filling them. You can fill them as high as you want, and the higher they are with the oils, you know, the more strong they're going to be. For my kids and myself, I usually fill them maybe a fifth of the way up is all, 10, 20, 30 oils, maybe less. And then I'll take my coconut oil and I'll fill it all the way up to the top. And then you've got these lids that they come with. You can buy these off of doTERRA sites also. And you just shove your lid in there. And then it's got this little roller bottle so you can roll it on your wrist or wherever, and lid. So you can make your own roller bottles, or you can use, this is one of their spray bottles. I don't know if you've seen these, but they're really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see it well. I just filled it up. But you can do this with water and with a couple drops of oil in there. And if you don't have a diffuser around, or if you're outside and it's hot, these are awesome. Same thing with even like bug spray. I've actually used them on my plants before with oils that are good to keep bugs away. But they have all those on the site as well. All right, back to one more time. So here's kind of a little chart about the ratio of how to dilute it. If they're under 2 years, you're going to have 1 drop of essential oil for 10 drops of your diluting oil, coconut oil, or whatever you're using. 2 to 6 years, you're going to do 1 essential oil drop to 4, 6 plus 1 to 3. And then if you're filling it up, it could be anywhere from a tenth to a third full of essential oils, and you fill it the rest of the way with the fractionated coconut oil. So you can also put in lotion. It'll spread it in better. Something about the coconut oil that's helpful is it's heavier than the oils, so it'll help them kind of like last longer. They do evaporate off of your skin and stuff. Some get absorbed, some evaporate. And so you're smelling them and stuff. But if you want them to last longer, the coconut oil helps with that as well. And then the dilution will also go with how hot is the oil. You know, if you're using like a digestive blend on your stomach or something, you could dilute that halfway maybe. But if you're using like oregano that's super intense, or cinnamon or thyme, those are kind of hotter oils, then you'll want to dilute it more. And the nice thing is that you don't have to have like a recipe or a science to it. If you put it on and you notice it and it bothers you, you can just add more coconut oil and know that it was a little too strong. Or if you don't feel it enough, you can add a little bit more of the oil and find, you know, where that ratio is for you. With my kids, I put it on. If they complained, I'd put more coconut oil, or if it didn't help, I would put more of the regular oil. The next thing is talking about their supplements. doTERRA has a lot of supplements, and I really love a lot of them. I don't know, they've changed my life. They've really helped me with my basic day-to-day nutrition, and then also with targeted things. So just a quick overview of that is you want to take them with food. Your body digests food well, and most of them are food-based supplements, so they're made from foods, and so they should be digested easily with food. For me personally, I find if I take them alone, it's fine, but every now and then you'll taste them, and so it's just nice to have with food, and then they just they just go into your body like food. A full dose of their regular Vitality Pack is 2 doses a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. They recommend starting with a fourth or half a dose. I actually recommend doing the full dose right from the get-go. If you have a cleansing reaction really fast, then you can like ease up and just do half or a fourth. But for most people, they're fine doing the full dose. And then you'll find that after, it sometimes takes 2 to 6 weeks to really feel a difference, because our bodies are so depleted of vitamins with the way our food is right now, just because a lot of it's there's not just the same nutrients in food as there used to be. And so adding that in is helpful, but sometimes it takes a little while to get your body back up to normal where you're functioning correctly. So once you feel a lot better and you notice a difference, then you can kind of play with the dosage and do half a dose or whatever you need. For me personally, I'm not great at taking things twice a day. I totally forget in the evening. And so I take 3 in the morning. And then if I remember, I take that fourth one before I go to bed. But I try to take them early in the day to help with my energy and just to make sure I don't forget. And then just making them a lifestyle. So if you hook it onto something else, for me, I do a recovery protein shake after I work out. And so I put my vitamins in then, and I try to work out every day. And that helps me remember to get them in each day. And then just having them out where you can see them. So putting them in front of anything else that you do regularly. If you're using oils on a new basis, also you can stick them in places where you might search for like an Advil and put oil in front. So you can try that first, or put it with your water cups if you're trying to put it in your water and drink it. But having it where you can see it and remind you is helpful into making it a lifestyle change. And then just keeping at it, getting used to your supplements and taking more as time goes on. I wanted to show you also what we do is let's see if I can remove Anita's pin. I have found that I do take quite a few supplements because they make such a big difference in my life, and I'm really grateful for that. We actually put them in like little supplement containers. doTERRA has sold these in the past, but you can find them. Like I got this one in the thrift shop to wash out so we could use it also. Any kind of a divider is helpful. And then you can just dump them in and you don't have to be opening a bunch of bottles. So their lifelong vitality pack is 3 bottles, and we'll go more into nutrition and supplements next week specifically. But I do really love this because I've labeled them each so I can just open it, grab out 2 of each one. I get the cute little red cups from like the dollar store. They're just little, and I just put them in there and take them with my shake. And we actually have 2 of these because there's so many that we enjoy taking. So we'll talk more about these next week, but that's a convenient way to have them so that you can be remembering to take them each day. And for me, they really do make a huge difference. So the other thing I would like to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. Actually, yeah, let me see. I'm going to share a video. So I don't know if you guys if you've heard of the loyalty rewards program, but that's doTERRA's ordering program. And it's one of the things that a lot of people don't know about. So I was going to go over that really quick in case you've never seen it before. So I'm going to share with you a video that I'm making that I haven't quite finished yet. But so you can see how you would go about this. So, and it has volume. Let me play it. Will somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat if you could hear the volume really quick?
And click login. You can also use your wellness advocate number or your customer number if they email that to you.
Can anybody hear the? Can you hear the audio?
You'll get this new account authentication.
All right.
Go ahead and click on mobile so they can.
So this is how you go ahead and log into your account. So you just go to doTERRA.com, And then you can type in your user ID and it'll kind of check your mobile stuff and everything. And then if you look over here, sorry about the audios, this is where your loyalty rewards orders are. So if you don't have one, you can click this LRP button. And then can I turn off the audio? Yeah, I will do that. And then this will show you how to create it. So what it will do is it'll open up a calendar so you can pick the date that you want. And it's kind of a regular order that goes through each month. And then you can add whatever products you want to it. I'm going to skip up to the cart really quick. When you order their lifelong vitality pack, it gives you an option to get some of these extra supplements at a discount. We'll talk about those supplements next week. Let's get to the cart. And then, where is it? Then this is what your cart will look like. And it will say it's a loyalty order. And now the cool thing about ordering through the loyalty rewards order, it's kind of the smartest way to order because you get points back on everything that you buy each month. So do I scan down? I think I do. All right, I gotta finish it. That's my problem. So you can add what you want up here. You can change it every month. It gives you some points. So each month when you fill up your loyalty rewards order, when this point value, the PV is over 125, they'll automatically add a free oil to your order if you process it before the 15th. And then once you set that up, you just go on into your back office is what we call it, and you can edit that order. So every month you can change it to whatever you need. But the loyalty rewards order is a way to get a percentage back of everything that you order each month, and it just grows. You start with 10% back, then it goes up to 30 after a year. So when you are on it, anytime you order, you're going to get 30% back in free products and points. So I have a sample supplement box. One more time, I keep having these screen shares. And this is what a sample box looks like. So this is their lifelong vitality pack on the left. It has their cellular antioxidant blend, has their omegas, and it has their vitamins. We'll go into depth next week on that. This is an On Guard toothpaste. Copaiba is a good calming oil. Balance and Wild Orange are two of my favorites to diffuse together. And so as an example, if you wanted these, you would go and add them into your LRP, which stands for Loyalty Rewards Order. And then, so this kind of gives you a breakdown of what these things cost. Then this is $151 example box, and then the whole thing, not just this box. And then, so it's 126 PV. And with this, you would get a free oil of the month. And then the product credits you would get would be, it would start at 10%. So it start at like $12 or $13 back. Plus you get points for the shipping. So if you pay for the $4 shipping, you get 4 more points. And then that just goes building in your account until you decide to use them. Once you've been on that order for a whole year, then you get 30% back on whatever you're ordering. So for me, if I order a box like this, I would be getting like $42 for free the next month if I wanted to add it in there. And so that's kind of like their wellness customer bonus for just using their products on a regular basis. For us, I order a couple lifelong vitality packs a month because my husband and I both take them and my kids take a half a dose usually. And I feel like that's done really great things for our immunity this past year and for our energy. And I feel like it just keeps our body in a stronger place. So this is an example of what you can put on there. You can change it to be whatever you want. You can change it month to month. And I will have that video done soon and published. So if you want it to walk you through how to set that up, you can look at that. And I'll include all the little details for the bonuses of the free months, free products and stuff like that, and how it processes. So that is the first class of our system. And now I'm gonna, so if you're here and you weren't here earlier, then take a quick minute and type your name in the chat. Most everybody's on here. Type your name in the chat so I can get you down for attendance. And then what we're gonna do at the very end, so that's 7:30, that's the end of our intro class. What we'll do at the very end is I'm gonna go through a brief overview of sharing oils, which you don't have to do, but just so you know what it entails if you ever were interested in sharing oils with somebody. Oh, and let me look through the chat. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and stick them in there. So continuous sprayers, what I showed earlier, these are 10 ml roller bottles. Comfort level for diluting things is really important because that helps you know how much you dilute them or how little. And then Anita was saying that she orders 2 a month. So, okay, and your eczema of your family has gone away after 15 years. That's really cool. So one thing I found with the Vitality Pack, I'm ready to just get a bunch of different experiences because the things I hear from it are so cool and they're very, very, very different. And the reason that is because each one of us has our own health deficiencies depending on what we eat, since none of us are really eating the same thing probably every single day, and our level of health and physical activity and things like that. And so it's such a wide variety of nutrients that what my personal belief is that it's filling in whatever holes we have in our nutrition. And then it's upping the amount of fruits and vegetables and nutrients that you get. And so it's going to kind of do something different for everybody depending on what their deficiencies are. But I have seen really cool things and we'll go into that more next week. So if you have any other comments or questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and I will whiz through this. I'm going to take maybe 5 minutes top. If you guys want to stick around, that would be awesome. But so let's see, let's share this one more time. So building a pipeline, there's 3 types of people in doTERRA. The majority of the people in doTERRA just really like the wellness products. And so they'll use their supplements and they'll use their oils for health and wellness. And then there's a handful of people that go ahead and share the oils with other people. I did that in the beginning without thinking I would do it as like a business. And I just loved them so much that I shared them. I had other jobs, so I really wasn't looking for the income necessarily. But then once I shared with a handful of people, I started getting kind of commissions back, which essentially paid for all of my product. So my product kind of never really came out of my family money. It came out of the money I got from sharing with others. And then the third type of people really fall in love with the products and enjoy sharing them. And so they seek out more opportunities to do that. And there's a handful of us, it's a lot fewer of us, which is totally fine. But there's just something for everybody. And if you just use the oils, that's fine. And if you want to share them mildly, then that does get you some benefits. So as kind of a working place, there's traditional jobs where you're going to work, trading your hours for dollars. You're kind of limited on how much you can earn and your time freedom. And usually you're building somebody else's business as they're hiring you. Direct sales is more true residual income because you get paid according to how much you share. So there's no limits or caps on the earnings you can get. You can choose your own schedule. And then lots of times you can use that to build your own dream, especially if your own dream is health related. And then why doTERRA? Every time we have any kind of like a conference or a convention, I feel like I just am so impressed with the leaders of doTERRA and how awesome they are. They're very concerned with the purity of the product because they all use it with their own families. And so they're always showing us the testing and stuff because they want them pure. It's very important to them that they're the best that they can find. They test them all over the world to make sure they have the highest quality of health compounds and healing compounds in them. We have over 8.5 million customers. I actually think we've hit 1 billion and it's growing rapidly. This last year we grew by like 18%, even though everybody was kind of in lockdown. And it was just cool to watch. We are the largest essential oil company in the world. Our growth rate has been similar to Apple and to Facebook and a lot of these huge companies. We have a record-breaking retention rate of 65% with that monthly order. And the average for any kind of company that's similar to this is 13%. Now, I don't think doTERRA is like any other company because I really am so impressed with how much their products benefit people, that many order over half of the time. Over half the company orders every month. And then we create partnerships with growers around the world. This is one of the coolest things that doTERRA does is they go in and they partner with local people who already know how to grow a lot of the oil plants we use for oils. And then they give them incentives to help them grow it better, have more healing properties in it, because a lot of growers before used to harvest stuff early. And so it wouldn't be as high quality oil. And so they partner with people, help them teach that, and then they let them grow it, which provides tons of jobs and education and business training to people around the world. And it's just been so cool to meet some of those people and to get to see the videos of doTERRA talking with them and hearing from them firsthand about how much it's changed their lives and benefited their economy and their lives and countries and stuff. Okay, there's a chat. I'm pulling it up to see that so I don't miss it. Okay. Yeah, I will post this training video. I won't post online, but if you want to reach out to me, I can get you a link. I might post online, but I try not to put these out there so I can speak a little more freely. And then I've got Scott who says your favorite oils are on guard, patchouli, eucalyptus, and wintergreen. Those are all really awesome oils. Okay, so doTERRA is privately owned. The owners have come from other companies, and a couple of them had a really bad experience where the people that own the company weren't the people running the company. And so they insisted that they do things with the oils, like just dilute them a little bit, make them less effective for the cost benefit of it. And so our owners have made sure that they own it outright. They're debt free with no money outstanding. And they have promised us they'll never sell it because they want to preserve the purity for their own families and for all of us. And they're just awesome. I just love this company so much. So just kind of looking at what doTERRA has to offer as a business is it is a multi-level marketing company, which totally was a turnoff to me in the beginning. But as I've learned more about doTERRA and how they're very different, I actually think it's the best um, business model because it very much incentivizes us to be teaching people how to use oils and sharing them the right way. Like I mentioned before, I had oils before, I never knew what to do with them. And now that there's so many classes and so much education available, I just have tons more experience than I've ever had, and I'm not afraid of using them anymore. So with a multi-level marketing company, anytime people are enrolling other people and placing orders, you just get a small commission from each of those people. And so while it's not really a get rich quick thing, it's definitely a long-term thing. It is a way that you can get a little bit of income for the products you're buying. And we know that when you go to Walmart or to the grocery store, all of those products have that built in because all of those products also have to pay for the work, the manufacturing, the bottling, and those things. It just goes to those separate companies or people. Whereas with this company, it goes back to us that are sharing them, which I think is really cool. So there's a story about a guy who lives in a very small third world country where they don't have running water, and he spends all of his day with a bucket, filling it up, walking it to town and selling that water. And as he's going back and forth and thinking of how there are other things he'd like to do in life, but he just can't because all he's doing is walking back and forth, getting paid for a day's work every day. He realizes that if he could build some kind of a pipeline, then he wouldn't have to spend all of his time walking back and forth. And so what he does is, since he doesn't have the money for that or the time, he just starts building it very slowly, buys a piece of pipe every time he goes back and forth, and he just adds a little piece each time. And so once he finishes that, he no longer has to haul those buckets back and forth. He now has a pipeline that will bring him a consistent amount of water every day. And so a business like doTERRA can do that. There are things that you do every day with sharing oils and sharing samples and teaching people. But the reality is, as it spreads and as more people learn to use them and as they change their life and become customers, you just get a small amount. And so it kind of grows. And one of the cool things about this past year is everything shut down is I had lots of friends who lost their jobs or weren't able to work even though they didn't lose their jobs. And for me, I had my doTERRA business grow as people were more concerned about their health, even though I couldn't like go anywhere or do anything. And that was very eye-opening to see the difference of just that residual income from people that already love the product, already use it every month, coming in. And so that was a really cool experience for me. So the way that you make money with it is just to give people samples of your own oils. We pay for those, and then to just teach people about them and then enroll them to get their own account and then support them when they have questions. One of the things I do with sampling is on social media, where a lot of us spend a good amount of time. There are people that are always talking about their lives and what's going on, and often they're talking about their ailments, if they can't sleep, if they have asthma, things like that. And so what I've done is when I see people say things like that, I private message them and just send them some oils. And I've had a lot of those people love them and come back and enroll and get an account because it's a simple thing and it's just a nice way to get some good products. So that's basically what we do. These are the income opportunities. There are some people that just share a little bit and they get enough to pay for products each month. And then there are people who have quit their jobs and moved into doTERRA full time and had their husbands quit with them and work with them. And that's super exciting, or it can support your family if you're putting that time and effort into sharing and educating other people. And then I talked about residual income for me. For time involved, if you're just paying for your products, it's a couple hours a week of sharing and following up. If you really want to supplement your income, it's giving it the time of like a part-time job. And if you'd like to replace your income, it's giving it the time of a full-time job as you get going to share products with other people. And then if you are interested, just let your person that helped you get started with doTERRA know, or let me know. We do have a couple other like courses and online groups where we support each other and we teach each other things we've learned as we're sharing oils or share experiences, which are very powerful. And then if you want to sign up for daily mentor calls, those are a specific series of calls that tell you step by step how to get started, how to get going, but then we put you in with our network so you have the support that you need. And I believe that's the end of my PowerPoint. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I have been doing a lot of online videos all of my time in doTERRA. I haven't done them in the last couple of years, but I've started making them. I just have to finish them and publish them. But I will get those on my website. So if you ever need them, it tells you how you can log into doTERRA, set up your recurring order, change your recurring order, and what to do if you don't want it to process, or how to drop it down, and then how to use the free points that you get, things like that. And then I do think I'll have a section where I'll post these continuing education videos where you can kind of log in to get to them. We don't put them out there because if you talk too much about curing or fixing things, then people don't like that, apparently. They want you to go through traditional medicine, which has its place in the world to help people for sure. But I firmly believe that prevention is one of the biggest keys to what a lot of the world is missing right now. If we're constantly supporting our health, then our bodies and our immunity will be stronger so that when things come through, we can battle them off with our natural immunity, use oils, and then we have medication for those emergencies where it's not enough and you need something stronger. But that you can just raise your own health by yourself with looking at what's around you in your environment, what you're putting into your body, and that way keep your body in just a healthier place overall. So that's it for today. I will be back next week. I'll send you guys a reminder email next Tuesday, and then a reminder text. If you want that, go ahead and email me back and with your phone number. I think some of you guys got it, so hopefully that's helpful. I won't be texting a lot. I just want to have it handy because I know when I get on classes, it's hard to find the links sometimes. And so it'll just pop right up on your phone so you can hop on. If you have anybody that wants to join late, let me know and I can send them the recording of this one and they can jump on with us next week. And then you can direct them to that login link. And then once again, if you haven't, just put your name in the chat. I think that's all. Thanks for joining us tonight, you guys. And I will copy and paste these so everybody gets credit for being here. And I will let you know, Maybeth, if you want a copy of this, let me know and I can send you a link to it. And other than that, I'll see you guys next week. And thanks for joining me tonight. And if you have questions, just write them down for next week and we can go over them. All
Thanks,
right.
Emily.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for coming.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. We'll see you then. See you next week.